I want to share with you a really interesting example. This is from TireRack.com. TireRack is in the business of selling tires. It is a high volume e commerce business. They are leaders in their space. And so they obviously are trying to think about how to reduce friction. Now, I think it's so interesting. We must think about conversion optimization innovation from the context of what is relevant for that business. So that's one of the reasons why we shouldn't worry too much about best practices. We should think more about in specific terms what would be relevant for someone who's buying an airline ticket, or someone who's looking for health insurance, or someone who's looking for a dog wheelchair. And you'll find it brings up a whole different set of ideas. So I'm going to show you an innovation that these guys have, which I think is very relevant for the tire buying experience. They recognize that in order to select the right tire, you have to go through a few drop downs like the year, the model, the kind of tire you have, etc. And these are things that people don't enjoy doing. Obviously, this is more mechanical. And so even if they were to shave off a little bit of friction from that process, considering the fact that they have millions of visitors, that all adds up to a meaningful improvement in conversion rates. So let me just show you what they do. You click on the option. There's a pop-up that appears. The first thing you do is you select your year, or sorry, your make. So I'm going to pick Ford. And notice how the year drop down was pre-selected. And then when I make the year selection, this option is pre-selected. And what I really like about this is that, I mean, the key point I want to make here is that what's the big deal, right? I mean, they just prevented me from clicking that extra year vehicle year drop down. But actually, two things have happened. Number one is, of course, it's become easier for me to kind of just go to look at the activated drop down and select my year. But the other thing that happens is that I'm actually much more likely to make a selection when a menu of options is presented to me versus when I have to activate that menu process and then make that selection. It's a very, very minor detail, but I think it's an important one. And for a website like TireRack.com that gets millions of visitors, it can add up to a pretty meaningful improvement in conversion rates. Tell me what you think about this.